In this video I'm going to go over Isaiah 58 and prove definitively that it is immoral to breed. And we're going to explore justice and righteousness and true fasting, etc. The Bible in Proverbs says that sin is not ended by multiplying words. If people would just have given me my rightful place, I could have directly got to the point and wouldn't have to cite the Bible to prove my point. On top of that, they persecuted me, including countless members of the churches. And all of them are complicit with rebellion against God and our rebellion themselves. In the next video, I'll overkill why the Bible testifies against itself. And there's many, many reasons. I'll get to enough reasons that prove it definitively. All right, so Isaiah 58:1. Shout it aloud, do not hold back. Raise your voice like a trumpet. Declare to my people their rebellion, and to the descendants of Jacob their sins. So remember, Matthew 10 says, declare the glory of God from the rooftops. What is whispered in your ear, declare from the rooftops. Psalm 106 says, who can proclaim my mighty acts? And the parable of the lamp on the bushel says, put a lamp on its stand. So the right thing to do is to make it clear. To shout it aloud, do not hold back. Raise your voice like a trumpet, declare to my people the rebellion, and to the descendants of Jacob their sins. For day after day they seek me out. They seem eager to know my ways, as if they were a nation that does what is right and has not forsaken the commands of God. They ask me for just decisions and seem eager for God to come near them, right? And meanwhile, making this video, this Judeo-Christian culture, what are they doing? Hey, they're misrepresenting me. They're keeping me from certain clothes. I'm wearing 2 sweaters right now, so I seem bigger than I am. Seem kind of weird shaped. They're doing all kinds of stuff to try to make it seem like I'm more like a Greek person, the Greek fraternities. I'm more like a white person, more like a Jew. Trying to make it seem like I'm gay or something. Okay? They cannot refrain. They cannot refrain from even persecuting the Messiah without, unnecessarily. When I do not threaten their governance and their flow of money and women and so on and so forth to a significant degree. 3. Why have we fasted, they say, and you have not seen it? Why have we humbled ourselves and you have not noticed? Yet on the day of your fasting, you do as you please and exploit all your workers. So they're doing as they please. And look at these Zionists, look at these liberal Jews, right? Look at the synagogues, look at the churches. They're not obeying God through me. They're saying their interpretation. Before your books, I am. I am the precise interpretation. I am the solar boat. I am the way to heaven. I am the way, the truth, and the life. Not your books, your teachers, or your rabbis. You have one teacher, that is me, the Messiah. Your fasting ends in quarreling and strife, and striking each other with wicked fists. Not with righteous indignation, but with wicked fists. You cannot fast as you do today and expect your voice to be heard on high. You can't expect your prayers to be heard on high. You can't expect the voice of your offspring to be heard in heaven, after they die. 5. Is this the kind of fasting I have chosen? Only a day for people to humble themselves? Is it only for bowing one's head like a reed and for lying in sackcloth and ashes? Is that what you call a fast, a day acceptable to the Lord? Is this the kind of fasting I have chosen? To loose the chains of injustice and untie the cords of the yoke, right? Not just to appear to do these things, you fucking theater art lunatics, but to actually do the right thing. To set the oppressed free and break every yoke? Is it not to share your food with the hungry and to provide the poor wanderer with shelter? When you see the naked, to clothe them and not to turn away from your own flesh and blood? So you're starving people all over the world. Okay? You're starving 9 million people to death with your collective treachery. And you hoard money and only think about yourselves and your offspring that are in social clubs and other despicable groups that are Luciferian inspired. 8. Then your light will break forth like the dawn, and your healing will quickly appear. Then your righteousness will go before you, and the glory of God will be your rear guard. See, you're not healed. You're not the light of the world. You're not the servant of God. I am. You people are sick. And only justice and righteousness and obeying God through me which is the only way to practice justice and righteousness, can bring your healing. But you're not going to do it. And you've already crossed the line of no return for humanity. There is no way for the people on this planet to be redeemed after I'm gone. They will all go to hell, but my parents are blameless. 9. Then you will call, and the Lord will answer. You will cry for help, and he will say, here am I. If you do away with the yoke of oppression, with the pointing finger and malicious talk, okay? If you would have done the right thing and stop oppressing me and everyone else, you would obey God through me, and you would see that God is in me, and you would obey God through me. And if you spend yourself in behalf of the hungry and satisfy the needs of the oppressed, then your light will rise in the darkness, and your night will become like the noonday. The Lord will guide you always. He will satisfy your needs in a sun-scorched land and will strengthen your frame. You will be like a well-watered garden, like a spring whose waters never fail. A sun-scorched. So what happens when the bridegroom, whose symbol is the sun, okay, doesn't approve of your direction in truth? You know, you hacking his brain isn't going to change anything. You put me in a coma and trying to put words in my mouth isn't going to change anything. Okay, what happens when what you're doing isn't righteousness and justice? You live in a sun-scorched land, spiritually speaking. Okay, righteousness and justice work against you, and you and your offspring go to hell. You fools. A well-watered garden, righteousness and justice, right? The waters of righteousness, the tree of life, the fruit of righteousness and justice. Your people will, if you would have done this, okay, and those who did, and there wasn't that many of them, narrow is the way, okay, they're going to rebuild the ruins in a new heaven and a new earth, because you ruined this earth, and heaven is out of reach for you. Your people will rebuild the ancient ruins and will raise up the age-old foundations. You will be called repairer of broken walls, restorer of streets with dwellings. If you keep your feet from breaking the Sabbath and from doing as you please on my holy day, if you call the Sabbath a delight and the Lord's holy day honorable, and if you honor it by not going your own way and not doing as you please or speaking idle words. You keep doing as you please and not what God commands. 14. Then we will find your joy in the Lord, and I will cause you to ride in triumph on the heights of the land. This is part of why I'm the top martial artist. You all lack the character to tell the truth, to live it, to do the right thing. And it made it so I could easily beat you in sparring, and probably still, even after all the fuming and drugging and all the cheating. And to feast on the inheritance of your father Jacob, for the mouth of the Lord has spoken. Okay, Jacob versus God as the father. Okay. Jacob, okay, it's important to note that Jacob's children, right, are in rebellion. Okay. They betrayed Joseph right away. His immediate children betrayed Joseph. Okay, wisdom is proven right by her deeds and her children. And they're fixated on the inheritance and trying to get it by any means necessary instead of doing God's work. That's why Jesus in the Bible said the kingdom of heaven will be taken away from you and given to a people that will perform its works. So I made it clear that you were supposed to loose the chains of injustice before it was too late. You were supposed to, let's see, where is it? You're supposed to do away with the yoke of oppression with the pointing finger. So untie the cords of the yoke of injustice and oppression and false accusations. And stop pretending, because when you pretend that you're chosen, you're accusing everyone else of being wrong, and you're accusing me of not being chosen, and that you are actually chosen. So stop with your malicious talk and pointing finger. Give me my rightful place immediately. It's the only chance you have. And those who live after I die are already done, because of what you've done. When is it enough for you people? You people who overkill the damning of your offspring by unnecessarily persecuting the Messiah. Disgraceful.